Hello, very good evening, Peter, and welcome to We Are Famous EFC podcast. I'm joined by Everton legend Peter Reid. So how are you doing, Peter?
Yeah, not bad. I've had a good day. Enjoying watching the Europe. Well, I'm enjoying it. There've been some good games, some bad games, but at least we're through to play Switzerland. Yeah, I've just been to see my mum in Eiton. Well, she lives in Prescott now, as it happens. And a couple of my brothers, so I'm cool.
Sound. Okay, but we'll get straight into it now with the questions. So, what game was your favourite and who was it against when you were an Everton player?
Good question. I think the best we played in terms of team performance, we played Manchester United. I think it was the week after we went to Anfield and beat him in the derby with Sharpie, got the great goal, and we played them at Goodison and we beat them 5-0, and they were a good team, Brian Robson, Slack and all that. We beat them 5-0. So that, as a performance, was brilliant. We beat anyone that day. We played ever so well. Games, I mean the Bayern Munich game, obviously you're too young, but people have told you that the atmosphere that night is, and I played in some great atmospheres at Goodison Park and other grounds, and some games recently, the atmosphere where we've had to win to stay up has been unbelievable, but nothing can compare to that night. It was brilliant. It was obviously a semi-final of Europe, and it's the only European trophy we got through, and we won it. So, but the crowd were unbelievable. I mean, we have got support second to none. You know, I'm convinced the last couple of seasons fighting relegation, the crowd have been a major influence on keeping the football club up, without a doubt.
Nice. So, which midfield did you not like playing against in any of the Premier League teams?
Well, to be fair, I did play in the Premier League, but I played for Man City. But when I played, it was the old First Division. Listen, you know the likes of Graham Souness, top player, Steve McMahon, Ronnie Whelan, all the Liverpool lads. But then you look at Brian Robson, you know what a player he was. Ray Wilkins, Glenn Hoddle. There was some really outstanding players, but some physically tough players. Norman Whiteside was physically demanding, but a great player. So it was a little bit different in them days. And obviously there was some unbelievable flair players, you know. We had Trevor Stephen, as you know, and Kevin Sheedy, great flair players. John Barnes was about, Chris Waddle, you know, real good players. So there was, even like now, there was never any real easy games, you know. It was always tough. Luton Town, playing against Luton Town used to be a tough gig, because they were like fairly physical. So every game was really, really tough. You know, the Arsenal, you know, when you're talking about them, they always had good sides, Tottenham. So yeah, it was good, but it was a good era to play in. A little bit different than now. Now the pitches are great. Athleticism comes into it. You know, if we were playing, if we got into October, the pitches were getting muddy. It was tough, but it was great.
Sound. Okay, so the next one. Which footballer would you say is your favourite? I mean, is your idol?
Oh, it's always difficult that. I'd say I played against some great Alan Ball was. I played against Bally when I was a kid at Bolton. He was at Southampton, and obviously legend everywhere, World Cup winner. But I got to know him really well. And was a friend of his. He was magnificent, and similar to like the likes of George Best, who, you know, I played against him when I was a kid. Absolutely brilliant geezer, great fella. Bobby Moore, who lifted the World Cup for England, I played against him when I was a young man, when he was at Fulham. So all that era were really good players, but obviously as you go on, you know, you get it. It's a good team like Everton, you play for England, you play against. I think it's always hard to pick one. If I was going to pick one player, my favourite would be Neville Southall. because he was the best goalie in the world, and I played with him, but he was brilliant.
Interesting. What manager did you like playing under the most?
Well, Howard was brilliant. Very good man manager. Very good tactically as well. A lot of people forget about that. When I was on about that Bayern Munich game, I remember Sheedy was injured and Andy Gray, he went 4 across the middle of the park and played Alan Harper, me, Paul Basewell, Kevin Richardson, Trevor Stephen, off Grange Sharp, a 4-4-1-1. Great manager, but he was the best. Sir Bobby Robson for England was good. And an old manager that a lot of people won't have heard of, a lad called Ian Greaves, who was my first manager at Bolton, who was a tough character, but I learnt an awful lot about him. So in terms of managers, I think they'd be the 3 most influential ones. But when I was a schoolboy and I was growing up, my dad was a big influence, taught me the basics of the game really well. Yeah, so I've got lots to thank him for. He's up in heaven now, but lots to thank him for. It's a good lad.
Alright, what does Everton mean to you? What does the Everton Football Club mean to you?
Well, if you've seen me and Sean the last 2 seasons going to games, I mean, certain nights I couldn't sleep before games, and then obviously we dug out results. I remember the Palace game, when we were 2 down at half time, we got up and then we beat Brighton. Brentford. Them 2 games, that was hard work watching. And I had to go out and get legless afterwards. I did. I just had kip on my mum's couch in Everton, me and him just went up. And it was just relief, just pure relief. So we had to turn to alcohol. But
bit like last season.
Well, that's the one. It was so difficult. But Everton, there's something. Everton, it's Bally says it. They all say it. Everyone who plays for Everton, there's something about the crowd and the affinity with the crowd and the players. And like I say, I think they're a massive influence on the football club and on the team, and that's why I love Everton so much.
Nice. What inspires you to become a footballer?
That's dead easy. I just love playing. I love playing as a kid. If I was fortunate enough to be good enough to play professional football, imagine getting paid to play football. It's every, certainly on Merseyside, it's every schoolboy's dream, and I attained that dream. I was lucky enough to play for England, win things with Everton Football Club, but just from being a schoolboy, playing around the streets of Highton, I just wanted to play, and I played for Highton Boys in 1971, where there's only a few schools, and we won the English Schools Trophy, and it's still the only town team to do that to this day. And our coach was a teacher, 2 teachers. One was Eddie Kilshaw, who used to play for Sheffield Wednesday and Bury back in the old days. Brilliant brain. Another lad was Alan Bleasdale, who later become the playwright, Boys from the Black Stuff. So he was our coach. But looking back on that, that's one of me finest achievements as well. I was 14, I played at Anfield in the semi-final, or Goodison Park in the final. I was only 14. Brilliant.
Sounds
brilliant.
Did you always support Everton?
No.
No?
Yeah, that's the end of that question.
Sad.
But it was, no, as a kid, my half fella, my mum was always a blue, my 2 granddads, but my half fella took me to Anfield, and I've got to admit to you, haven't I, because you're my mate, I've got to admit, I supported that lot. Less said about that, let's move on.
Go ahead. What do you think about our new stadium at Bramley Moor?
Well, I've been very, very fortunate being an ex-player to get it in the library building.
Yeah.
You put on a presentation where you put the goggles on your ear, and it was unbelievable. And then the following week, they took me down to the new stadium. It'll blow your mind. Wow. Honestly, I was lost for words. You just look around it, and the architecture, it's close to the ground. You know it's going to be an unbelievable atmosphere, and you just know. I mean, Goodison Park, I love the grand old lady, I love it. But like anything else, we've got to progress.
Yeah.
And this stadium, it's honest to God, wait till you see it. It's iconic. It's brilliant. But we've got to get a team, and I'm not having a go at anyone here. We've got to get a team where we've got a chance of winning things. It's all right having a nice stadium, but you've got to have a nice team as well.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, good. Thank you, Adam.
Oh yeah. So, what is your predictions for next season? Where is Everton going to finish at the end of the campaign?
I tell you what, you don't mess around with your questions, do you?
No.
I think we'll finish mid-table.
Yeah.
I'm convinced. I mean, hoping to be new ownership and the Premier League sort them out with this fair play, whatever it's called. But I think Sean's done a really good job. Sean Dyche's done a really good job in difficult circumstances. So
I thank him on his tracksuit Dyche.
Yeah, exactly.
Dyche.
Yeah, he had to go. But I'd go meet it. But do you know what I'd love? I'd love to have win a trophy.
Yeah.
Just win a trophy. I mean, 1995, and I've got a grandson who lives in Manchester, and he's a mad Evertonian. He's got all the shirts on, like all this, and he's going to me and me nephews. Never seen Everton win a carrot, so we've got to win something. And by the way, I don't mind the League Cup.
I've never seen anyone. I've never seen us either.
No, you've got to. For the young lads and lasses, young lads and girls, we got to win something. But mid-table, and then let's gradually grow. Hopefully.
Yeah. What did you think of when we beat Liverpool at Goodison to make them lose the league?
I was there.
Yeah.
And it was very emotional. To be fair, we got about them. And the crowd were great again. I know we keep going on about it, but they were great. And listen, it wasn't about them losing the league. It was about us getting 3 points because we needed them. Because I was having a right panic up because the week before I was in Mallorca and watched the game on the telly, the Chelsea game, where we got turned over 6 and I was devastated. And then we come back and we played Burnley on a Saturday and we were poor. And we got a break, their keeper made a mistake, and we ended up winning 1-0. And because I was thinking, we're that bad here, we're going to get, and then we turned it on against them in the derby, and that was the turning point. That Burnley game gives us the impetus to go in the derby game, and to be fair, to win it, and deserve to win it, in my opinion. It was great.
Yeah, I think the reason we started to win it was because he changed some of the playing with the players round them wore his tracksuits, so because he's made a change with them, the players. So I thought,
I think
his tracksuits.
Well, just coming up to half time,
yeah,
the crowd were getting really restless, and I'm thinking this could be toxic, you know. And their keeper made a mistake, and we slotted it in, and from then on the atmosphere changed, and I think that was a massive turning point. I mean, maybe his tracksuits as well. I'm not going to argue with that.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people noticed that.
Sound. So that was the end of the podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time and enjoying to meet you today, Peter.
Adam, it's been an absolute pleasure.
All right. Up
Thank
the
you very
toffees.
much. Up the toffees.
Bye bye.
Ta-ra.